What's going on, everyone? It is your boy Thriller here, and we're back with another JDL. This is our proper Season 5 draft analysis for the Paldea Dex format. Obviously, if you guys did not see this, I don't know, it depends on when I'm going to upload either the NFE draft analysis or this draft analysis. We're part of two divisions for JJDL, which is really cool. We're doing a standard Paldea, which has high tier Terra, and we're doing NFE, which is again the fun format. Really excited for my team. I'm gonna be completely honest with my team. I think my team actually on the top half of the spectrum looks really good, and I have like a good couple of bottom pieces of the bottom half of my team, but I do think my team overall is not the greatest. I'm gonna be lying to you guys. You see my first two Pokemon right here, but we'll talk about them in a second here. But if you guys are excited and are ready for some more JDDL content to come back, obviously all you've been seeing is just speed tours. Definitely hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Join the Fur Crew today because you'll be thrilling with the king of the crew. Let's go ahead and bring in this new year with some really cool draft content. So, kicking it off here, I had the sixth pick, I'm pretty sure. So I had the top of the middle of the row pack. So once again, middle in the draft. I believe I shared the middle of the draft with Noah and Lamaud, and then maybe one other person. Us three were in in the middle, so we shared middle of the row, which is really suck. I definitely got sniped on a lot of things I wanted and a lot of stuff I wanted to try, and I really wanted to get some stuff here. So my first pick, I decided to go for my best Terra Captain choice. I did actually get a secondary Terra Captain that I do think I could see myself potentially tearing at least a few games this season, probably. Easy. But also I'm gonna try to get this draft done as fast as I can because I'm very tired and when I try to go back to bed, just to wake up in probably like 2 hours. But I don't care. I want to take a nap. But we got my boy Checkmate the King Gambit. Somehow after the destruction I caused, they still thought, you know what? Let's still make this Monotera captain. I think it's still enough to be handled and they decided, you know what, let's just keep it as a Terra Captain. So you know what? If you want me to do it again, I will do it again. King Game, but the last time I used it was absolutely awesome. I fell in love with this Pokemon so much. I do think a lot more people are going to be really countering this mon and really trying their best to play around this Pokemon. So I am going to be a little bit more creative with this Pokemon now. So definitely do need to be careful about that. But I absolutely love Terra King Gambit. This mon was absolutely amazing. And this is definitely my type of style of a mod. If I'm allowed Terra, I'm 100% taking King Gambit almost every other time because getting rid of that quad weakness and just becoming a bulky nuisance is so good. And I am so excited to have King Gambit again. This is going to be such a fun mod this season. So I wanted to pair King and Gambit with something that was really cool. And obviously, if I potentially set up hazards, people are going to try to remove them. And if people want to try to bring their intimidators, which are really good in my team, I want them to second guess. Now, obviously, are there chances they run Supreme Overlord more like Defiant? Yes. But I still like having the option of Defiant, and what's better than having one option of Defiant? What about two options of Defiant with having Annihilate on the team? Because Annihilate is always going to have Defiant unless I see a certain matchup where inner focus matters a lot more than anything else. But I went with Annihilate. Now, you guys saw me last time in JDL's main season where it was the Civil War format we did last year. Not last year, but our last season. I cooked with Annihilate. And I won't lie, I kind of cooked more at the beginning of the first half and then the second half and even the playoffs. I kind of let them fall off a bit, but we really knew how to play with Annihilate last season. And I really wanted to try it again. And I also think paired with King Gambit, this is disgusting. Like, you grabbed probably one of the best King Gambit answers in the game because again, bulk up and then playing mind games with Sucker Punch and then boosting your HP, especially if you tear out of your dark typing. Like this was such a good dynamic combo duo that I don't think a lot of people are going to be ready for, man. And this is just like a really good fat Pokemon that can just put in the work. We're naming it the Grandmaster after my boy D Ray. And I'm really excited to use Annihilate, man. I don't know how good Terra Annihilate is. I do need to try that Pokemon out eventually at some point. But I really am super excited for this duo. I think it's really cool, and obviously I've used Annihilate quite a bit few times, and I think I've definitely gotten better each time with it. So maybe we do the best we can with it this season. Who knows? Now, round three, I'm gonna not lie to you guys. I reached for this pick. Now, I reached for it because it was a good value pick, and also this is a Pokemon I think I really need for my team because there's some options with this Pokemon that can work against me if I don't have it. Excuse me. The Pokemon we took here. Now, I grabbed Krokorok, a Crocodile, I should say. Now, why did I grab Crocodile when I already had a Dark type? Well, if you think about it, I'm going to tear out of that Dark typing about every single week. So I really needed something to replace that Dark typing that I lost. But more importantly, I really wanted to grab one of the best ground types on the board. And obviously, there's still plenty of them. Like there was both the Landos, which to be honest have fallen off, but they're still valuably good. There's also a Blood Moon, which is kind of a toss up between good and useful. And then obviously some other really good B tier grounds and a couple of high tier grounds that excuse me, that I'm not thinking of like Garchomp and stuff, but Garchomp was already taken. And I wasn't grabbing as my round one pick. So I went with Krookerok, which I haven't used in a while. The last one I actually used Crook was when I actually couldn't use knockoff because the leagues were not doing home transfer moves, and knockoff became a transfer move, but I couldn't use it during the DLC update stuff. So I was kind of stuck with Crunch Crocodile, which was still a good Crocodile set. It was still pretty good for what it offered. But yeah, I'm really excited to try Crook. I know my buddy Owen, OG Albina, is bouncing up and down because he loves Crocodile. This is definitely his guy. He won BBR with this mon. And yeah, I'm super excited to try Crook here. I mean, again, I haven't used him in such a long time, so very excited to try Crocodile again. It's gonna be hopefully a lot of fun this season. Going into round four, I wanted to make sure I got my good electric type, and I got it early. And sorry, I'm yawning a lot, guys. Obviously, you can tell it's roughly 4:40 in the morning, so I'm trying to get this done. But I wanted some speed. I wanted some utility, and this is a Pokemon I have never, ever, ever drafted. I've drafted its other form with and without Taro, but I've never tried this form. And this form is a little weaker, yes, but it gives me a lot more speed, which I think is why I need to start drafting. And that's Muscle Cloud the Thunderous here. Now, he is still strong, don't get me wrong, with good attack and still good special attack. But that speed of 111 is really huge for a lot of games. Now, this thing is a Pokemon that can be also taken advantage of Defiant as well. A third Defiant user, which arguably you're not going to see a lot of Defiant. But it is one of those things you do need to respect in prep because Thunderous can still be a massive throw. It can actually take advantage of that flying acrobatic set that can really be annoying for a lot of people if they do not carefully prep for it. And this is just gonna be a good Pokemon, man. I'm really excited to try Thunderous. Like I said, I've never used this in Thunderous form at all, and I'm just really hoping I can do well with it. I always want to do well with my electric types because electric is the best draft typing in the game. I don't care what anyone says, and it's just a really good Pokemon. So up next, really need to start picking up some relatively fairy switch-ins, but more importantly, bulk. I wanted bulk, start taking hits. I also want to get a good valued grounded poison. Now, could have went with something that was a little more high tier. Still, definitely could have done a little bit more for our team. But this is a Pokemon that I have honestly not touched since Gen 8. Ever since Gen 8, I have never used this Pokemon since then. And it's been a long while, and I haven't used it in a very long time. And I really need to start grabbing some special attackers at this point. And that is going to be Seaweed, the Dragalge. Now, Dragalge is really, really cool. It's a slow pivot Pokemon, which is really good for a team like mine. Access to Toxic Spikes, which is really great. A good value Dragon Poison. Easy Mon that is neutral to Fairy, but depending on the Fairy type, we actually can 1v1 most Fairy types, if not take at least one hit from them and then be able to revenge them pretty easily. This is such a good Pokemon. I so excited. to try out Dragalge again. It's been a very long time, and I'm really, really looking forward to using it again. This is just a good Pokemon, man, and I'm really excited to see how well we do with this season. Next up, I really need to get a water type for my team at this point, and I really need to start getting some bulk. Right now, my bulk is primarily consistent of Annihilate, which can go either way, my Spadef Wall, which is my Dragalge. So I decided to get something a little bit more on the physical side of things, and that's going to be Aquafina. I guess it's still Spadef, never mind. Aquafina, my Vaporeon. Now, Vaporeon, I generally do not like Vaporeon, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think it's really that good of a Pokemon. But I really need someone with the value that Vaporeon brings me. It gives me Soul Pivot with Flip Turn, gives me Wish access, which is really important. It does give me a mon that can be a bit of a Calm Mind Sweeper if it really wants to. It also has Yawn now this gen. It's overall a pretty solid Pokemon. I know my friend Rose really did well with Terra Vaporeon, and I just think overall this is gonna be a good Pokemon for the team. I'm hoping it provides good value, otherwise it can drop, you know, hard to beat. But it's overall just a solid Pokemon, and I think it's gonna do well for our team. Now at this point, the fairies were going, and honestly, there were still a lot of great high tier fairies left. There were things like Consumable that were left, Gardevoir that were left, and that's kind of the best high tiers left. I think Sylveon at one point was. I don't know if it was this round or not that it was still available to me or not, but who knows. But I wanted to go with a fairy that definitely forced prep. I wanted to go with a fairy that was really good still, and can be a bit of a dangerous thing. And more importantly, I really need to start picking up some speed again because, again, only having two mons that were relatively fast, I needed really good elite speeds here. So I focused my next couple of picks on speed here. So with my next pick, I picked up Bombi Tinkerbell here. Now this is definitely not going to be a good Pokemon, and is it going to come to every single game? Not really, but the value that this Rabombi does offer to teams is really valuable. It is one of the decent web setters in the format as well, and it's just overall really good at Pokemon, especially since it can stop fake out shenanigans thanks to its ability Shield does, which is really great. So that way it can ignore those type of effects and then be able to get those webs up for complete free while still having a sash intact. So really good Pokemon, and yeah, I'm hoping it does really well. Up next, I grabbed the normal type, and actually, in hindsight, kind of wish I had grabbed Regigigas over this because Regigigas would have been at least funny, and he actually would have been very interesting. Never used him before. But I decided to go with Cincino. It gave me Has removal, which was like the only real reason I drafted. It's got speed. It's a Pokemon. For those who don't remember the last time I drafted Cincino, I absolutely hated my time with it. So I'm giving this Pokemon one more chance to redeem itself. And if it doesn't, I'm going to literally kick him to the side of the curve here and just get rid of him. So up next, though, I went with a Pokemon that I have never drafted before, and is the last of the four I have never tried. So we're gonna give it a try. We got my boy Crash. I'm gonna go with either Tiki or whatever the name is from Crash Bandicoot's Tiki's, or not just call it Crash. Ogerpon Quarterstone, really good Pokemon. Gives me access to Spikes, which is really good. Spiky Shield, access to Sturdy, which is fantastic. As it's a really good setup on lead Pokemon type thing if we need to. This Pokemon points and speed is really great. Also, a really strong rock move that I don't have to worry about missing. And then be able to take on most of everything. The only thing we struggle a little bit is going to be steel types. But we do have access to ground coverage for those steel types. But this is just a good overall Pokemon, man. This is super strong. And just really punches through a lot of teams. So, really excited to try this Pokemon. Up next, we have from the Garden of Eve. We have Eve, the Lilligant with Terra. And I thought this was a really cool, fun pick to pick up. Like, obviously, Annihilate has a base 90 speed set, which doesn't make sense to draft another mon that's base 90, but is Annihilate really taking advantage of its speed? I'm gonna be honest with you guys, not as much as you think. I love building defensive Annihilate and then just taking hits on days on days on days to go from there. So, it's a really good Pokemon. So, I went with Lilligant here as a speedster for us here. What's really cool about Lilligant is that it has its own ability in called, well, not its own ability, it has its own tempo as its ability. But what's really great is this move right here, Pedal Dance. Base 120 special move that is basically Outrage, but special. But it says it confuses the owner after the time. But with Own Tempo, I cannot be confused. So that means I can spam a base 120 special grass type move with no drawback at all. Plus, setting this thing up, is pretty free in most points. And with Terra, gets a one of the great coverage options it needs to start punishing teams. And I'm so looking forward to using Lily in here. Definitely if these were like really low tier leagues out there, I would really love to try Terra Lilligan again. But this is gonna be really fun. I do, like I said, I can definitely see myself bringing Lilligan to at least a couple of matches here potentially. If King Gambit has a bit of a rough match, or if King Gambit honestly doesn't need a Terra in the spots that I needed to, and I can always fake out with Terra potentially. So and I really like that. So overall, really good pickup with again here. And last but not least, we've got Charizard. Does he have defog? He doesn't have defog, so it's fine. I'm gonna be completely honest. This was just a fairy switch in, and I had 3 points, so I figured, you know what, let's try it. You know, if there's a matchup where Charizard can do some stuff, Charizard can do some stuff. But other than that, Charizard, he's really not that good. But you know what? We'll see how it does. Maybe we can bring it to a game or two. Who knows? But yeah, that is the team this season, guys. I'm actually really happy with some of the things we got here. Some stuff that I'm really excited to use again. Stuff I'm really excited to use for the first time. And obviously, being forced to use some Pokemon that you absolutely hate. But you know, it can work well with your team. It's the price and pay you want to do draft leagues. So yeah, I'm really excited for my team. I'm hoping that we can make the playoffs, keep that streak alive. But yeah, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And with that, I will see you guys for week 1. And until next time, guys, peace.